And good day, I welcome you back. Dr. Scott, your online headache doc, the only doctor of any kind certified by both the American and International Boards of Commonsensical Medicine. Welcome to this week's episode of Relief at Last, what your doctor won't tell you about your migraines, your headaches, and your ongoing pain. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 9, Migraine Relief, Your First Step. So today we're going to discuss why your headaches and migraines may not be a head problem. And this will be your first step toward finding significant, long-lasting, proven relief. Now, let me start by saying this. If you don't know the real true cause of your migraine or headache symptoms, chances are you may never experience any significant and certainly not long-lasting relief, no matter what kind of treatment you try or what kind of healthcare provider you seek help from. Let me say that one more time. If you don't know the real cause of your migraine and headache symptoms, chances are you may never experience any significant and certainly not long-lasting relief, no matter what kind of treatment you try or what kind of healthcare provider you seek advice from. Now, I want you to make note of that because that simple statement is the key, the number one key to actually finding significant long-lasting relief and living a happy, healthy, active lifestyle free from the limitations currently imposed by your migraine and headache symptoms. Now, I want to start this episode by revealing your doctor's biggest secret. And your doctor's biggest secret is, I have absolutely no idea why you're having migraines and headaches. They just happen to some people, and you, my friend, just happen to be one of those people. Now, to me, that's pretty sad, because medical research, as you know from previous episodes, medical research on why people get migraine and headache symptoms is plentiful and has been published for nearly 80 years. Yet, why does this research continue to this day to be ignored by virtually all healthcare providers of many specialties? Not just in the medical field, it could be in terms of, quote-unquote, alternative types of treatment. So, many of us, when we're seeking help for our migraines and headaches, when traditional drug therapies just don't seem to provide not only enough relief, but definitely not any long-lasting relief, we may look for alternative medicine or alternative methods of treatment. Sometimes that involves acupuncture, chiropractic treatment, physical therapy, nutritional, herbal, some kind of treatment just because we're so desperate to find some kind of relief. We just want to be able to perform our simple, normal, everyday activities. Is that really asking too much? Now, is it really realistic to actually experience significant, long-lasting relief from your migraines, from your headaches, when our doctors have continually told us, look, there really isn't a long-term solution. What we're going to help you do is try to find the next best new and improved treatment in an attempt to manage your migraine symptoms. Have you ever heard this before? I certainly heard it for years. So we're told, we're taught by our doctors as a whole that there is no known cause for our migraines and our headaches, and that Subsequently, there is no long-term solution. Well, my friends, great news for you today. That is not what decades upon decades upon decades of proven published research continues to say. Your doctor is completely oblivious. They are completely unaware. They are completely ignorant of the published medical research. Why? Why would our doctors choose to either ignore the medical research or at least not investigate what does the proven medical research really say? Well, sadly, it doesn't matter, and they don't care. And why doesn't it matter and why don't they care? Because it will not change a single thing about the way you're treated for your migraines and headaches. Your primary care doctor will probably always give you a prescription. Your pain management specialist will probably recommend injections. Your chiropractor will probably recommend spinal adjustments. Your neurologist will probably recommend extensive testing, which the vast majority of the time, as many of us know, is unremarkable, normal, does not identify the cause of our migraine and headache symptoms. So each doctor, each specialist, because of their specialty goggles, because they are only trained to see your symptoms through their particular scope of practice and none other, and they are trained to treat your symptoms only with the method of treatment that they are trained to provide. So the research doesn't matter. They are going to treat your symptoms with whatever method of treatment it is they so happen to be trained to provide, whether it addresses the cause of your problem or not. That is how our so-called healthcare system, at least in the United States, is built. It is not a healthcare system when it comes to those of us that have battled migraines, headaches, and chronic pain. It is purely a symptom treatment system with the true cause of the problem continually being ignored. That's sadly how our system is built. But my friend, don't you think it's your turn? Don't you think it's time for you to experience some kind of significant, long-lasting relief from your migraines and headaches? Absolutely it is. And absolutely it is realistic, but only if you identify the real, true cause first. Let's put it simply. If you don't know what you're trying to fix, if you don't know where to look, you are never going to find the true cause. So if you're looking in the wrong place, you'll never find what you're really looking for. If your doctors, therapists, chiropractors, healthcare provider of any type, this includes the world's most famous doctor, Dr. Google. If you don't know where to look, you'll never find the real true cause of your migraine and headache symptoms. This is the number one key to finding significant, proven, long-lasting relief. So today, what would be your first step if you are actually searching for the well-deserved, I might add, significant, long-lasting relief from your migraines and headaches? Well, most commonly, migraine and headache symptoms, ready for this, are not caused by a problem inside of your head. Oh, you heard me. That's right. Your headaches may not be a head problem, but rather, according to 80 years of proven, published, and continuing research, a specific disorder of the upper part of your spine. What? Why would we look at the upper part of the spine, near where the base of your skull and your spine meet, for the cause of migraine and headache symptoms? Well, it's quite simple. Each of our bodies is equipped with what I call a junction box. And that junction box is located at the connection of your brain and your spinal cord, near the top of your spine. So I liken this to the breaker box or junction box on your wall at home. Now, the junction or breaker box on your wall at home serves the purpose of sending the electrical supply to different parts of your household. So, for example, one breaker switch will send the electricity to the washer and dryer, while the next switch may send the electricity to the hallway bathroom, and the next switch maybe to the living room, and so on and so forth. Well, in part, that's what your brain stem does, your body's built-in junction box. It sends the signals from your brain to every single part, organ of your body, from the top of your head to the tips of your toes and everything in between. It's controlling your heart rate right now as we speak. You don't have to consciously tell your heart rate to speed up or slow down. You don't have to tell your body when to take a breath in or when to breathe out. You don't have to tell your body how to digest the food that your body is automatically being controlled by your junction box, sending the signal from your brain through the brainstem and spinal cord to the appropriate part of your body. This is how the brainstem works. But there's much more to it than the breaker box at home. The junction box at home is only sending electrical activity one direction, out to the parts of your home, while the junction box of your body is receiving messages back inbound. So let me give you a couple of examples. Why would it be that when weather changes and there's a drastic change in the barometric pressure, why would that serve to trigger or aggravate our migraine or headache symptoms? Well, your body's built-in junction box controls how your body responds to external stimuli. How does your body respond to pressure changes in the atmosphere? That is controlled in your body's junction box. If that junction box is not functioning properly, your body doesn't react normally, so to speak, with these barometric pressure changes. So some people may get migraine symptoms, either the onset of the symptoms or a significant aggravation of these symptoms with weather changes, yet most of us do not. My practice currently is about 80% women. It is not the way I designed my practice. It's just the way that it developed over the last 3 decades or so. So another common trigger, not a cause, but trigger of migraine symptoms are what I term hormonal changes. Those could be a monthly cycle. It could be a pregnancy. Why do some women experience migraine symptoms during that time of the month, yet most women do not? Again, those functions are controlled, and how your body responds to these hormonal changes is controlled in your body's junction box. And again, if that junction box is not functioning properly, you will experience migraine symptoms when most people do not. So, how do specific upper spinal disorders result in migraine symptoms? Well, quite simply, if there is something squeezing, compressing, or irritating the upper part of your spinal cord, migraine and headache symptoms are the most common symptoms that you will experience. So, according to some of the most recent published medical research, at least 70% of those of us who have experienced migraines or headaches of many types have a specific disorder of the upper part of our spine, resulting in irritation or compression of the upper part of our spinal cord, and not a problem inside of our heads where we're experiencing the symptoms. Are you following me so far? Does that make a little more sense? How an upper spinal problem could cause migraine or headache symptoms? So, couple of things. What we need to get away from in our faulty healthcare system, especially in the United States, is continuing to try things out. We're continuing to seek professional opinion after opinion, and sometimes after opinion, when it seems that all of these professional opinions, not only do they differ, but much of the time they conflict. So we may talk to one doctor or specialist, and if we go get a second opinion, we'll get a completely different or conflicting professional opinion. And you guessed it, if we seek a third opinion, you're likely going to get a third differing and likely conflicting opinion. How does that happen when the medical research for decades upon decades is crystal clear? Your doctor doesn't have a clue what decades of published medical research really proves. And like I said, they, quite frankly, don't care, because it will not change how they treat or attempt to manage your migraine and headache symptoms. So, what I want you to remember today is, number one, if you look in the wrong place, if you continue to look in the wrong place, you are never going to find what you're looking for, and that is the real true cause of your migraine and headache symptoms. So your first step in realistically finding proven, significant, long-lasting relief is to look in the right place. Chances are better than not, if other acute pathology has been ruled out, cancers, tumors, brain aneurysms, when those are ruled out, where do you go from there? Research says look to the upper part of the spine, because that's been proven to be the most common root of migraine and headache symptoms for nearly 80 years, continuing to this very day. Next week, we're going to discuss what your second step should be. So we've established, based on hundreds upon hundreds and decades upon decades of proven medical research studies, that specific disorders of the upper part of your spine and spinal cord are usually responsible for migraine and headache symptoms. In step number 2, I'm going to guide you in the direction toward how do you. It doesn't matter what worked for somebody else or what works for the next person for that matter. What do you, with your particular symptoms and your particular circumstances, need to do immediately to lead yourself in the direction toward pinpointing whether or not, with certainty, do you have one of these specific upper spinal disorders, and what do you do about it if you do? Or do we need to take a 180-degree turn and go the opposite direction and look elsewhere? We're going to talk the next few weeks in step-by-step terms. What do you do today? What do you do tomorrow? What do you do next? Leading us to finally proven, long-lasting relief from your migraines and headaches. You deserve to live a happy, healthy, active lifestyle that is not limited by your migraine and headache symptoms. Please share this podcast with somebody that you know, somebody that you care about that continues to battle migraines, headaches, that many times feel like they've tried everything and nothing seems to provide that significant and, again, certainly not long-lasting relief. Look, there is no magic pill. Stop looking for it. It has never existed, it doesn't exist, and it never will exist. Find and fix the real, true cause of your migraine and headache symptoms. This is the only realistic way to finding the relief that you continue to seek. Share this podcast, share our website, onlineheadachedoc.com, where we'll be posting these step-by-steps so you can have a reference point and share these with somebody that you know and care about. Again, thank you for listening. I'm Dr. Scott, your online headache doc. Those are the facts. And everything else, well, it's just another conflicting opinion. The information contained in this podcast is not meant to substitute for your doctor or healthcare provider's advice or recommendations. It is based on Dr. Scott's 32 years in private practice so far, specializing exclusively in migraine, headache, and upper spinal disorders, as well as decades upon decades of proven published medical research. Copyright 2025 by Milagros Media LLC, not affiliated with Dr. Scott's private practice.